You've spotted the signs. You know you're dealing with a psychopath. Now comes the most dangerous part, getting away safely. Most people make catastrophic mistakes when trying to escape psychopathic manipulation. They confront directly, set boundaries, or try to reason with someone neurologically incapable of empathy. These approaches don't just fail, they make your situation exponentially worse. Today, I'm revealing the secret method that forensic therapists and domestic violence specialists use to safely extract victims from psychopathic control. This isn't about being strong or brave. It's about being strategic and understanding exactly how a psychopath's brain works so you can exploit their weaknesses instead of triggering their rage. The method I'm about to share has been refined through decades of clinical research and has saved thousands of lives. But it requires precision, patience, and the courage to act completely opposite to your natural instincts. Warning: if you are in immediate danger, do not confront them. Call emergency services and get professional help. Let's start with why everything you think you know about escaping toxic people will get you hurt. Before I reveal the escape method, you need to understand the 3 fatal mistakes that turn a manageable situation into a dangerous one. Fatal mistake. Number 1. The direct confrontation. Most people think honesty and directness will resolve the situation. They sit down for a heart-to-heart conversation, explain how they've been hurt, and ask for change. With a psychopath, this is like handing them a detailed map of your vulnerabilities. Research from the University of Montreal shows that psychopaths interpret emotional honesty as weakness and direct confrontation as a challenge to dominate. Your attempt at resolution becomes their blueprint for escalated manipulation. Fatal mistake number 2. The boundary setting. Traditional relationship advice says to set clear boundaries. With psychopaths, boundaries aren't respected. They're seen as obstacles to overcome. Dr. Martha Stout's research at Harvard reveals that psychopaths are neurologically compelled to violate any limit you establish, often with increasing creativity and cruelty. Fatal mistake number 3. The gradual withdrawal. Many people try to slowly reduce contact, hoping the psychopath won't notice. But psychopaths are hyper-vigilant to changes in their supply sources. They'll escalate their manipulation tactics, create crises to pull you back in, or punish you for the perceived abandonment. These mistakes share one fatal flaw. They assume you're dealing with someone who processes relationships like a normal human being. The method used by forensic therapists is called strategic invisibility, a systematic process of becoming so uninteresting and unrewarding that the psychopath voluntarily seeks more stimulating targets. This method was developed by Dr. Albert Bernstein, who spent 30 years treating both psychopaths and their victims. The key insight: psychopaths require emotional engagement, like vampires require blood. Deny them this, and they'll move on to easier prey. Phase 1. The emotional flatline. You must become emotionally unresponsive to everything they do. No anger, no hurt, no joy, no fear, nothing. Psychopaths feed on emotional reactions of any kind. Your tears are as rewarding to them as your laughter. This doesn't mean becoming robotic. It means responding to their provocations with the same energy you'd give to discussing the weather. Okay, I see. That's interesting. Flat, neutral, boring. Phase 2. Information starvation. Stop sharing anything meaningful about your life. No updates about work, relationships, plans, problems, or successes. Psychopaths use personal information as ammunition. Without fresh intel, their manipulation attempts become generic and ineffective. When they probe for information, give surface-level responses. Work is fine. Nothing much planned. Same as usual. You're not lying, you're just not feeding their intelligence-gathering operation. Phase 3. The predictability prison. Become completely predictable and routine. Psychopaths are stimulation addicts who crave drama, chaos, and emotional intensity. Predictability is their kryptonite. Respond to their texts at the same time each day with the same neutral tone. Follow the same routines. Become so boring that interacting with you feels like watching paint dry. Advanced technique. Number 1. The mirror deflection. When a psychopath tries to provoke you, use their own tactics against them. They make a cutting remark. Respond with mild curiosity. That's an interesting perspective. What made you think of that? This technique, developed by FBI behavioral analysts, turns their manipulation attempt into an awkward moment where they have to explain their cruelty. Most psychopaths will quickly abandon tactics that require self-reflection. Advanced technique number 2. The social camouflage. Never be alone with them if possible. Psychopaths behave differently when witnesses are present. They're less likely to escalate and more likely to maintain their public mask. If you must interact, do it in public spaces or with others present. Their need to appear normal to outsiders becomes your protection. Advanced technique number 3, the documentation shield. Keep detailed records of every interaction. Dates, times, witnesses, exact quotes. Psychopaths rely on gaslighting and reality distortion. Documentation protects your sanity and provides evidence if escalation occurs. But here's the crucial part. Never let them know you're documenting. This information is for your protection and potential legal use, not for confrontation. The strategic invisibility method typically works within 2 to 8 weeks, depending on how deeply entangled you are. Here's what to expect. Week 1 to 2. The testing phase. The psychopath will escalate their manipulation tactics, trying to get their usual emotional response from you. They might create drama, spread rumors, or attempt to make you jealous. Stay flatline. This is the most critical phase. Week 3 to 4, the confusion phase. They'll become confused by your lack of response and may try new approaches. Love bombing, threats, playing victim. They're cycling through their entire playbook. Continue being boring and unresponsive. Week 5 to 6, the seeking phase. This is when they typically start seeking more rewarding targets. You'll notice them focusing their attention elsewhere, testing new victims who provide the emotional reactions they crave. Week 7 to 8, the discard phase. If you've maintained strategic invisibility successfully, they'll often discard you themselves, sometimes with a final attempt at cruelty to get one last emotional reaction. Don't take the bait. Critical warning signs. If the psychopath shows signs of escalating to threats, stalking, or violence, immediately contact law enforcement and domestic violence professionals. The strategic invisibility method works for manipulation and emotional abuse, but physical threats require immediate professional intervention. Successfully escaping a psychopath is only the beginning. The recovery process requires understanding the unique nature of psychopathic trauma. Phase 1. Reality restoration. Psychopaths create what trauma specialists call coercive control, a systematic assault on your reality testing. Recovery begins with validating that your experiences were real and your reactions normal. Phase 2. Trust rebuilding. The most challenging aspect is learning to trust your own perceptions again. Psychopaths are experts at making you doubt your instincts. Rebuilding this trust takes time and often professional support. Phase 3. Pattern recognition. Learn to recognize the early warning signs so you can avoid future psychopathic entanglements. The skills you've developed in spotting and escaping one psychopath will protect you from others. The hardest truth about escaping psychopaths is that some people become addicted to the intensity. Psychopaths create what neuroscientists call trauma bonding, a neurochemical addiction to the cycle of abuse and relief. If you find yourself unable to maintain strategic invisibility, if you keep getting pulled back into their drama, you may need professional help to break the trauma bond. This isn't weakness. It's a normal neurological response to sustained psychological manipulation. Deny them this, and they'll move on to easier targets. Your safety depends on understanding that you're not dealing with someone who processes relationships normally. Use their own nature against them, and escape becomes not just possible, but inevitable.